record. Okay. Second, okay, F. Okay. LG 0.00098. LG 0.0098. Okay, what did you get for this? What is the logarithmic value of 0.0098? Kianaban, I will check if your answer is correct. What is the answer you all got? Alama? What's the answer you all got? Okay. Chenuli, what about Metna, Sahiru? 98 ne all log table ke kiya no ne, so log table ke 98 is 9912, no? Okay. So 9912. This is the default position. From the default position, this has gone 3 places to the front. 1, 2, 3. So it's bar 3.9912. This is second F. Is it clear to you, Lamai? Give me a thumbs up if it's clear. Okay. Express. I'm sorry, there's another 0, no? Yes, there's another 0, 0.00098. 0.00098. Then that is correct generally. It's bar 4. Bar 4.9912. Then third decade B. Third decade B, no? Yeah. So express each of the following numbers as a power of 10. 0.01175. How do I express this as a power of 10? What did you get for this? I'm interested to see how you got this one. Anybody who got an answer? Yes. Now here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the log value from the log table. LG 0.01175. Can you all find the log value and tell me? Find the log value of 0.01175. I will also find, then we'll compare our answers. Yes, what did you get? Don't waste time, huh? What is the log value of this? Okay, Chenuli. Metna, Sahiru? Yes. Zero 710 log table default so it's bar 2. Bar 2.070 Is it clear? Chenuli and sorry, Metna and Sahiru, is it clear? Sahiru? Okay. Now this is in the logarithmic form. Now, how do I convert this to the index form? We have talked about this multiple times. Here, LG means the base is 10, right? එතන logarithmic form එකේ base එක තමයි index form එකේ මෙතනට එන්නේ. logarithmic form එකේ මෙන්න මෙයා තමයි index form එකේ answer එක. and logarithmic form එකේ answer එක තමයි index form එකේ index එක. Do you remember we learned something like this? Thumbs up if you remember that we learned something like this before. Sahiru? Okay. Now what they're asking is express each of the following numbers as a power of 10. So this number you have to express as a power of 10. So මෙතන මේ number එක තියෙනවා මේකේ ආගේ 10 ගේ power එක, right? So then this is the answer. So ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ළමයි whenever you get something like that, you first express it in the logarithmic form. Once you express it in the logarithmic form, you can convert it to the index form. Okay? Let's move on to the next one. 3.2 second decade DF. 3.2 second decade D and F. Okay. 3.2. Okay. D and F. Can you all see the question on the board? Now can, no? Can you all see it? මම draw කරන ඒවා මෙන්න මේ round කරන ටික පේනවද? All right. Denuri, can you hear me? Denuri, can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, what about Denuri? Because you were disconnected. Okay. Yes, because you were disconnected, no? So anyways, I hope you can hear me. We just finished discussing exercise 3.1, second decay F ekai, third decay B ekai. Those were some of the homework questions. Can you remind me to send you the recording for any parts that you might miss? And also, I will anyway send the whiteboard note. Then you can cover up for the parts that you missed. All right. Logarithmic table ekin values one theory. Now we have done this several times, so you can quickly tell me the answer. Anti-log. She got disconnected again, no? 5330. Okay, what's the value? You tell me the value. I will also read the value, and then we can convert. We can check later. 3,421. Others, what did you all get? Others, what did you all get? 3,412. 1 second. Okay, so it should be 5330. Mantissa, you read from the log table, right? So when you read it from the log table, you should get 3412, right? Mantissa, you read from the log table. එතකොට මේ පැත්තේ 3 4 තියෙනවා මෙතන 1 තියෙනවා mean difference එකෙන් 2 ගන්නවා right then characteristic එක bar 4 bar 4 means default තැන ඉඳන් හතරක් ඉස්සරහට ගිහලා 1 2 3 4 එන 0.000341 is that clear to you lamai give me a thumbs up if it's clear all right then anti-log f එක bar 3.5555 okay so what is the value you got for this others 0.003548 okay 3593 it should be 3593 so when the metric mantis you read from the log table then you get 3593 මෙතන bar 3 කියන default තරේ ඉඳන් 3ක් ඉස්සරහට ගිහලා that would be 0.003593 is that clear to you lamai thumbs up then 3.3 1 එකේ J and L 3.3 let's go to that 1 එකේ J and L okay let's get the entire one and then we'll just correct J and L okay J I have this no bar 2.9372 minus 1.5449 so this is the J one ne J neda tibbe first ke J yes all right so let's see first of all our first step is we separate the characteristic and the mantissa right if you take bar 2.9372 how do we separate it minus 2 which is the characteristic plus 0.9372 which is the mantissa minus if you take 1.5449 characteristic is plus 1 mantissa is 0.5449 all right now here minus 2 plus 0.9372 minus times plus is minus 1 minus times plus is minus 0.5449 and then we will write the characteristics together and the mantissas together so that it's easy for us to work with right so minus 2 here minus 1 plus 0.9372 minus 0.5449 then characteristics I simplify together minus 2 minus 1 is minus 3 mantissa gathama what do I have 0.9372 subtract 0.5449 2 minus 9 back 12 minus 9 is 3 7 away 6 6 minus 4 is 2 3 away 13 minus 4 is 9 mitra 9 away 8 8 minus 5 is 3 so make the characteristic sorry mantissa deka simplify karama we get plus 0.3923 now I will combine both of these and write together I told you when you're combining for the final answer the sign in front of the mantissa should be plus, right? Again, then now minus whenever. If the characteristic is minus, mantissa should be plus. Or both of them are plus. Or if the characteristic is plus and the mantissa is minus, that is also okay. Then now minus so I think we have that example. We'll discuss it. Homework. Anyway, so we combine these together. We have bar 3.3923. Is this clear to you, Lamai? If you have any doubt, please do ask. Okay, Chenuli. Others? Okay, Metna. Okay, Sahiru. Tenuri, did you get this answer? Okay. Now L. Let's discuss L. Okay. Bar 1.9112 minus bar 3.9543. So again, I will separate the characteristic and mantissa, right? Bar 1.9112. I write minus 1 plus 0.9112. Minus, again, in this one also, I separate the characteristic and mantissa. Bar 3 means minus 3 plus 0.9543. Okay, we'll simplify the brackets. Minus times minus is plus 3. Minus times plus is minus 0.9543. So, characteristics I will write together. Here minus 1, here plus 3. And mantissa 0.9112 minus 0.9543. So, may they not simplify minus 1 plus 3, that is plus 2. Now, I have to simplify these two. Whenever you have addition, subtraction, last week also I told, look again, podikina subtract kara, look sign ekadama. Which one is the bigger number here? We have 0.9112 and 0.9543. Which one is the bigger number? 0.9543, right? Yes. 0.9543. එයාගේ මම subtract කරනවා 0.9112. 3 වලින් 2 subtract කරාම 1, 4 minus 1 is 3, 5 minus 1 is 4, 9 minus 9 is 0. So I have 0.0431. Now the big number, the large number has the sign of negative, no? So since it has negative, I put negative here. මෙතනත් මුකුත් කරන්න නෑනේ. Mea plus ne? Characteristic is plus, so you just have to subtract. Remember last week, one of the last examples we discussed was if the characteristic was minus and the mantissa was minus, you have to do something extra. Do you remember that? If characteristic and mantissa both are minus, how do you do it? Do you remember that from last week? Okay, others? Sahiru Denuri, do you remember? Sahiru? Were you there last week? Anyways, 2 gang 0.0431 subtract කරනවා. Sahiru, can you hear me? Hari, anyways. So 0 වලින් 1 subtract කරන්න බෑ, 10 වලින් 1 subtract කරාම 9, 9 වලින් 3 subtract කරාම 6, 9 වලින් 4 subtract කරාම 5, 9 වලින් 0 subtract කරාම 9, and here we have 1 වලින් 0 subtract කරාම 1. එහෙනම් answer is 1.9569. Okay, did y'all get this answer? Give me a thumbs up if you did. And if you understood, if you want me to explain again, let me know. All right, great. That's all, no? No, 2 more questions. Hari, මේකට මම පොඩි වෙලාවක් දෙන ඔයාලට corrections කරගන්න because addition subtraction we only learned last week. Today we can finally finish logarithms. We have to somehow finish logarithms, huh? Okay, I will give you like 2 minutes to do the corrections quickly. Okay, Lamai. Second එකට we'll move on. What are the homework in the second one? Let me find E and F, no? Okay, so let me get the second one to the board. E and F. There we have addition and subtraction, a mix. Okay. Here, okay, we'll do the E first and then we'll move on to F. When you have multiple operations, addition, subtraction, right? Especially this is logarithms, no? Logarithms, right? It's better to always do step by step. Anyways, we have to do step by step. We can't do everything together. Since there are brackets, I will first do this part. I will do that addition and then after that, I will subtract that from this, okay? So, bar 3.7512 minus the okay? So, here characteristic it's just 0. So, I will just write 0.2511. Plus here, now there is a characteristic which is minus 1. Minus 1. Now, my bracket because here we have minus 1, which is our characteristic, plus 0.8112. A big bracket. This I will keep it outside as it is until we use it later. The only characteristic present here is minus 1. So I will write minus 1 at the beginning. Plus 0.2511 plus 0.8112. Okay. Bar 3.7512 minus, may minus 1 we will add these two. So 1 plus 2 is 3, 1 plus 1 is 2, 5 plus 1 is 6, 8 plus 2 is 10, 1 remaining, that 1 is moved here. And, one second, and bar 3.7512 minus, the method minus 1, now again there is a characteristic. So I will separate the characteristic like this plus 0.0623. And bar 3.751, I'm sorry for the handwriting here, it's a bit messy. I will try to write a bit more neater. Okay. Here we can see minus 1 plus 1 capilana because minus 1 plus 1 is 0. We have 0.0623. Up to that point, is it clear to you? Up to that. Okay, Sahiru. All right. Now we will do the subtraction. So if you look at this one now, which we have kept aside at the beginning, now we will use it. We will separate the characteristic and mantissa. So characteristic is minus 3, mantissa is plus 0.7512 minus 0.0623. There's nothing much we have to do in terms of the characteristic. So we have minus 3. Here only we have to do the subtraction. 0.7512 minus 0.0623. 12 in 3 subtract run about 12 minus 3 is 9, then with 1 away 0, 0 in 2 subtract run about, then 10 in 2 subtract run 8, 4 in 6 back, 14 in 6 can 8, so we have plus 0.6889. Now we will combine both and write together. Bar 3.6889 would be your final answer. Did you all get this answer, Lama? Is it clear? Did you all get this? Okay. Let's move on to the next one. F. bar 1.2572 plus 3.9140 minus bar 1.1111. So we'll start with the addition here. First, I will separate the characteristic and mantissa. If you take this one, characteristic is -1, mantissa is plus 0.2572. Plus, if you take this one and separate, characteristic is just 3, mantissa is 0.9140. එතන මේ දෙක ඉවර කරලා මෙයාට ගියා නම් හරි if එහෙම brackets නැති හින්දා if you want to එකට කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. ඕන අපි මේක එකට කරලා බලමු, right? But if you feel like it's confusing, better to just take it step by step. I mean, it's better to write the correct answer rather than just getting it all mixed up. Okay? But මේකට මම නිකන් පෙන්නන්න කොමෙන්ට් එකත් කියන්නේ තුනම එකට කරලා. Minus, after subtraction, always better to open brackets. Here we have bar 1. Bar 1 is the characteristic, which is -1 plus 0.1111. Okay, then -1 plus 0.25. මෙතන අපි characteristics දෙක එක ළඟ ලියමු. Here we have -1, here +3. We will write them together. Plus 0.2572 plus this mantissa is 0.9140. Minus times minus is plus 1. Minus times plus is minus 0.1111. So we don't have to put the brackets again. Now, -1 plus 3 is +2, right? When you simplify the characteristics here, -1 plus 3 is +2. The මෙතනත් characteristic එකක් තියෙනවානේ. I will bring it to the front, +1. This characteristic here. Then mantissa ටික මේ දෙනා මම කෙලිම add කරලා ලියන්නම් because they're together here. 2 plus 0 is 2. 7 plus 4 is 11, 1 remaining, 1 plus 5 is 6, 6 plus 1 is 7, 2 plus 9 is 11, 1 remaining, 1 මේ පැත්තට. මෙතන එතකොට තව mantissa එකක් තියෙනවා, යාවත් මම එහෙම ලං කරලා ලියන්න. Like that. And now we will write all of them. We will simplify the next step. Here +2 plus 3, sorry, +2 plus 1 together will be +3. And here we have a subtraction. මෙතන තව එක characteristic එකක් තියෙනවානේ. Characteristic එක separate කරන්න. එතකොට මෙහෙම +1 කියලා එනවානේ. And we have 0.1712. Sometimes you might wonder, in certain instances, there is really no point in separating the characteristic. But as a good practice, always separate the characteristic. Always do it. මොකද දැන් මේ වගේ සමහර simple questions වල characteristic එක තිබ්බත් නැතත් අවුලක් නැහැ. But there are certain complicated questions where it is always better that you like separate the characteristic and keep the characteristics separately and mantissa separately. It's quite important. ඒක හින්දා ඒක practice වෙන්න මේ ඔක්කොම අපි ඒ විදිහට කරමු. Here 0. Hasindu, you're a bit late, no? So we were doing logarithms. We are still correcting the homework. This is the last homework question. Okay. It's okay. But for what you missed, can you get the recording? On WhatsApp, recording killanna, and I will send the whiteboard note. +3 plus 1 is +4 here. We have to do the subtraction. 0.1712 minus 0.1111. 2 minus 1 is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0, 7 minus 1 is 6, 1 minus 1 is 0. So we have plus 0.0601. And let's just combine both. 4.0601. Okay. That wasn't very difficult. But did y'all get this answer? Did y'all get this answer? Did y'all understand this? How is it? Okay, others? Sahiru, Pasindu, did y'all get these answers? Okay. Pasindu, since you just joined, let's watch the recording and follow the whiteboard note and see if you can understand whether you have gotten the answers. This is homework. And if you still doesn't, like if there's any concern or like any part that you didn't understand, we will discuss it next week. Or you can ask me on WhatsApp. Sahiru? Let me know. Meanwhile, let me see where we exactly stopped last week. Api subtraction with Kerala. We have straight away jumped to the exercise. No, that's it. Okay. Put the subtopic. Write multiplication of logarithms. I will put the topic on the board. Multiplication of logarithms by a whole number. So now we are doing the multiplication and division part. So far we have been doing addition and subtraction only, right? So this is multiplication of logarithms by a whole number. Multiplication part is actually quite easy, so there's nothing much. Okay, so let's start with an example. Just like in the previous ones, we'll just discuss examples, and with the examples, we'll cover this, right? Okay, example 1. Okay. So these are logarithmic values. So if you take 3.7412, it's not a normal number. It's a logarithmic number. So this part, the 3-point part is the characteristic. Then 0.7412 is the mantissa, as we know, because this is a logarithmic number we are talking about. Here, when you talk about the multiplication lemma, it's very basic, just like how you multiply a normal number. Make a logarithm number. Let's just say it's a normal number, 3.7412. How you would multiply by 2 is like this. 3.7412. You multiply by 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 7 is 14. 1 remaining. 2 times 3 is 6 plus this 1 is 7. So you get 7.4824. That is how you get the answer here. So logarithmic number which is consisted with a characteristic and a mantissa, you multiply it by a whole number in the same way as you multiply a normal number by a whole number. Okay. So you get 7.4824. Did you all understand this one? Multiplication part ko 9, I will erase that, but is this clear? Okay. Now, let's say you got like a bar number. Now, this is just a normal number, minus nathiyava. If the characteristic had a bar, how would you do it? Let's see. 2.1836 multiplied by 3. Okay. So, first of all, when you are like multiplying a bar logarithm value by a whole number, always better to separate the characteristic and mantissa. Then metanna characteristic mantissa separate karat loku case ekak naha. But now here there's a bar number no. So bar 2 would be -2 plus the mantissa is 0.1836. Multiplied by 3 ne mami 3 ki isarahan dana. So that means 3 should be multiplied by the characteristic. 3 should also be multiplied by the mantissa. Both has to be done. So 3 multiplied by -2 is -6. 3 multiplied by plus 0.1836. Let's see. 0.1836 multiplied by 3. 3 times 6 is 18, 1 remaining. 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1, 10, 1 remaining. 3 times 8 is 24 plus 1, 25, 2 remaining. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2 is 5. I wanted something else. It's okay. So 3 times 0.1836, you get 0.5508. Now we will combine these two and write together. -6 is the characteristic. 0.5508 is the mantissa. When you combine them, you get bar 6.5508. Is this clear? Thumbs up. Others? Okay, let's discuss one more example. Bar 3.8754 multiplied by, let's say, 3. Now I will separate the characteristic and mantissa. Bar 3 means characteristic is -3. Plus mantissa is 0.8754. This has to be multiplied by 3, no? So I put 3 at the front. That means 3 has to be multiplied by -3. 3 has to be multiplied by 0.8754, both, right? Okay. 3 multiplied by -3 is, 3 times 3 is 9, plus times minus is minus. 3 multiplied by 0.8754. 3 times 4 is 12, 1 remaining. 3 times 5 is 15 plus 1, 16, 1 remaining. 3 times 7 is 21 plus 1, 22, 2 remaining. 3 times 8 is 24 plus 2 is 26. 2 remaining. 3 times 0 is 0 plus 2. So we get 2.6. 1 second, Lamai. My laptop is getting stuck. Oh no, shit. My phone died. Can I connect yours? Lamai, can you all hear me? Can you all hear me, Lamai? Okay, I'm sorry, I had a connection issue. Let me reshare the board. I hope others also can hear me, yeah? Okay. Let me share the board. For those of you who cannot see the board, let me send the link to the chat box. All right. So we were discussing this part, ne? So 3 multiplied by minus 3 is minus 9. Then 3 I'm going to multiply by the mantissa. So 3 times 4 is 12, 1 remaining. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16, 1 remaining. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 1 is 22, 2 remaining. 3 times 8 is 24, plus 2 is 26, 2 remaining. 3 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2. So we have this. 2.6262. Then what do we do? Now we have another characteristic, no? මෙතන එක characteristic එකක් තව තියෙනවා. Now what I do is this minus 9 I write as it is, but this one I'm going to separate into characteristic and mantissa. So plus 2 plus mantissa is 0.6262. Now minus 9 plus 2 is minus 7 plus 0.6262. Then we can combine and write bar 7.6262. Is this clear, Amai? Is this clear to all of you? Sahiru? Okay. Then let's write these, Amai. Let's write these 3 examples. I will give 1, 2, 3, 5 minutes. 5.5. Okay, your time starts now. Quickly write the examples. Am I done? Have you all finished writing? Anybody who needs more time? Chenuli? Chenuli, have you finished? Let me know. Meanwhile, Lamai, let's do one question to sort of lock in what you learned, and then we'll move on to division. Go to exercise 3.5. 3.4 का भी पास करना 3.5. In 3.5, in the first question, do B. Just this one. Huh? It's pretty easy. Bar 2.7321 multiplied by 3. Quickly find the answer to this. Make it fast. Huh? I won't set a timer, but I'm also not going to give you a lot of time. Quickly finish. Okay, Lama, have you all finished this? Others? Ichara maruna nene. Shall we discuss? Bar 2.7321 we can write as minus 2 plus 0.7321 multiplied by 3. Okay, sorry. So here we are multiplying this by 3, right? So I will move 3 to the front. Okay, now it's all about multiplying, right? First we multiply 3 by minus 2. 3 times minus 2 is minus 6. Then 3 multiplied by 0.7321. 0.7321 multiplied by 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 7 is 21. So we have plus 2.1963. Again, we have a characteristic and mantissa here. So we separate them and write. So minus 6 plus 2 is minus 4 plus 0.1963, which we can combine and write as bar 4.1963. Did you all get this answer? Okay, cool. Put a subtopic. Put a subtopic. Division of a logarithm by a whole number. Okay, Lama. Put example. Okay, don't write now. Just listen. Example 1. I will discuss the same examples that is on the textbook because there are certain things that we need to pay attention to. Anyways, 2.5142 divided by 2. Now, this is pretty simple. The metanang by kakne and just the logarithm value. So you divide it as you would divide a normal number, just like in multiplication, right? So 2.5142 divided by 2. 2 times 1 is 2, 0. I bring this 5 down. I put the decimal place here. 2 times 2 is 4, 1 remaining. I bring this 1 down. 2 times 5 is 10, 1 remaining. I bring this 4 down. 2 times 7 is 14, 0 remaining. I bring this 2 down. 2 times 1 is 2. So we get the answer as 1.257. That's like just a very normal division, right? Just like how you would divide a normal number. Then example 2. Let's look at something slightly different. Bar 3.5001, you have to divide by 3. Then Mithana, this is again not very difficult to divide. What you do is you divide the characteristics separately and the mantissa separately, right? Then Barana Mithana characteristic is bar 3, right? So, minus 3, bar 3 is minus 3. Minus 3 वो या 3 again divide करना separately. Plus, mantissa is 0.5001. यावत whenever 3 again divide कर. So, characteristic you divide separately. Mantissa you divide separately. So, minus 3, 3 again divide gram, that is minus 1 plus 0.5001 we divide by 3. 3 times 1 is 3, 2 remaining, 20 can 3 times 6 is 18, 2 remaining, 3 times 6 is 18, 2 remaining, may 1 gannava, so 3 times 7 is 21. So we have 0.1667. We combine these and write as bar 1.1667. Is this clear? Is this clear? Others? Then we are going for some complex examples. But first write this. I will give you 3 minutes to write these 2 examples. Make it fast. Quickly. Now, my example 3. Okay. Now, Lamai, look at this example. This is slightly different. When we have a positive characteristic, we can do the division however we want. Can මෙන්න මේ වගේ නම් positive characteristic එකක් නේ තියෙන්නේ. ඒ වගේ වෙලාවට we can consider that number as a normal number. We can do any multiplication we want. We can do any division we want. We can do anything. But when we have a negative characteristic, the story is slightly different. Okay. Now, here we have a negative characteristic. So the characteristic is bar 3, which is minus 3. Divide karanna thiyenne 3 ge. So bar 3 or minus 3 perfectly divides by 3, so no problem. Then methanas, we have a negative characteristic, which is bar 1, that is minus 1. But minus 1 may 2 ge perfectly divide when in. So in logarithms, if you have a positive characteristic, as I said, you can do anything. Anything you want. But if you have a negative characteristic, the characteristic must be, or the negative number must be divisible by the whole number. The method we have bar 1, which is minus 1, and that cannot be divided by 2. Did you understand that? Positive characteristic ekak nang anything. Negative characteristic ekak nang, the negative characteristic must be divisible by the whole number. Otherwise, we can't do it. Now, here we have, so bar 1.4512 means minus 1 plus 0.5412. Now, we can clearly see that minus 1 is not perfectly divided by 2. Up to that point, is it clear? Because I'm going to do something different now. Up to that point, is it clear? Denuri and Sahiru? Sahiru? Sahiru, is it clear? Okay. Now here I have minus 1. Minus 1 valata vada ekak වැඩියෙන් 2 ගෙන් divide වෙන එක නා කවුද? එකක් වැඩියෙන් or minus in the negative පැත්තට නම් කියන අඩු වෙනවානේ. But in terms of the number, minus 1 ට ළඟම ඉන්න 2 ගෙන් divide වෙන එක නම් minus 2 නේද? So what I can do is, if there was minus 2 here, මෙතන minus 2 තිබ්බම නම් ගානට 2 ගෙන් divide වෙනවා. Perfectly divisible. As I said, the negative characteristic should be perfectly divisible by the whole number. Here, minus 1 is not divisible by 2. Ne? However, if we had minus 2, that would have been perfectly divisible by 2. Okay. හැබැයි දැන් මට ඕන විදිහට minus 2 දාන්න බෑනේ. මම මොකද කරන්නේ? Minus 2 දාලා I put something here so that at the end of the day, the value will be the same as minus 1. Minus 1 මට ලියන්න පුළුවන් නේද? Minus 2 plus 1 කියලා. So here I write minus 1 as minus 2 plus 1. One second. Let's see how this changes everything. Then minus 2 plus 1 plus 0.5412 මට ලියන්න පුළුවන් plus 1.5412 divided by 2. So look at this again. What I did here was that if there was a positive characteristic, as I said, we can divide or multiply that by any whole number. But if we have a negative characteristic, that negative characteristic must be perfectly divisible by the whole number. Here we have minus 1, but we have to divide it by 2. We know minus 1 is not perfectly divisible by 2. Mum minus 1 hada gannawa in such a way that there will be a negative characteristic perfectly divisible by 2. And a minus 1 to lagama inna 2 gen perfectly divide when a negative characteristic එක minus 2. If I use minus 2, I have to use it in such a way that the value will be the same as minus 1. ඒක හින්දා මම මෙහෙම දානවා. Minus 2 plus 1. You know minus 2 plus 1, the answer is minus 1. So the value doesn't change. But now I have a negative characteristic which is perfectly divisible by 2. So මේ 1 එක මෙයාත් එක්ක එකතු කරාම we have 1.5412. එයා ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑනේ because I told you if there was a positive characteristic you can do anything. Okay? Negative නම් විතරයි මේක එන්නේ. මම දැම්ම ඔයගලන්ගෙන් අහන්න නැහැ තේරුණාද කියලා because I'm going to do another example. So at a glance you will not understand it like with just one example. We will do several examples and then we'll see if you still don't understand. Okay, so minus 2 gen divide වුණාම minus 1 plus මෙන්න මෙයාව 2 gen divide කරන්න ඕනේ. එයා positive characteristic එකක් නේ. So we can do whatever we want. 1.5412 2 gen divide කරන්න. 2 times 7 is 14, 1 remaining, 2 times 7 is 14, 0, may 1 ගන්නවා, 0, may 2 ගන්නවා, so 12. We have 0.7706. And when we combine bar 1.7706. Okay. Don't write this yet because we will do another example. Let's look at something like this. Bar 1.3712 divided by 3. Again, here I have a log number which I have to divide by a whole number. So this log number, I'm going to separate it into characteristic and mantissa. So bar 1 means minus 1 plus 0.3712 divided by 3. So there's a negative characteristic here which is minus 1. Is my negative characteristic perfectly divisible by this whole number? My negative characteristic here is minus 1. My whole number is 3. Is it perfectly divisible? Okay, others? Is minus 1 perfectly divided by 3? No. Minus 1 is not perfectly divided by 3. එහෙනම් minus 1 හදා ගන්න ඕනේ in such a way that I have a negative characteristic that can be divided by 3. Okay. එතකොට එක negative characteristic එකක් එන්න ඕනේ which is divided by 3. The other one should be a positive characteristic. මෙන්න මේ විදිහට මතක තියාගන්න, then it will be easier for you. Whenever you have a negative characteristic that is not perfectly divisible by the whole number, you have to break it down in such a way that you have a negative characteristic divisible by the whole number. And the other one should be a positive characteristic. So, අන්න ඒ විදිහට තමයි බෙදා ගන්න ඕනේ. So, minus 1 ට ළඟම ඉන්න the negative number which is perfectly divided by the whole number is minus 3. If I use minus 3 here and I want the answer as minus 1, what should I put here? Minus 3 plus what would give minus 1 as the answer? What should come here? Okay, Metna, others? Others? -3 එක මොන positive number එක හිටියොත්ද we get the answer as -1. මෙතන 3 ආවොත් පොඩි ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙනවා. -3 plus 3 the answer would be 0 not -1. එහෙනම් +3 ව දාන්න. Others? Any other answers? Okay, Pasindu. Okay, Denuri. Chenuli, what do you think? Yes. It should be +2. -3 plus 2, you will get the answer as -1. And that is how I should divide this, right? So, මෙයාව මම ලියනවා -3 plus 2 plus 0.3712 divided by 3. And -3. Now, do these two I can combine and write 2.3712 divided by 3. Now here I have a negative characteristic which is perfectly divisible by the whole number. Then I have the logarithm with a positive characteristic. Positive characteristic kya na hone ka prashnak na. Okay, now we'll just do the division. -3 divided by 3 is -1. Then 2.3712 divided by 3 would be 3 times 7 is 21, 2 remaining. 3 times 9 is 27, 0 remaining. 1 walata na, me 2 walata, 3 times 4. So I get the answer as 0.7904. I combine these and write bar 1.7904. Now tell me, are the third and fourth questions clear to you? We are going to do one more example, but is it clear up to this point? Okay, first copy this down. First copy this down. Don't worry, we will discuss more examples. First copy this down, make it fast. Let me know when you're done, Lamai. Enuri done, Chanuri done, Metna done, Asindu done, Sahiru? Okay. Okay, nice. Let's discuss one more together and then I will give you a few to do as homework. Okay, first listen and then later you can write. Bar 3.5112 divided by 2. So bar 3.5112, I'm going to break it into characteristic and mantissa. Characteristic is -3 plus mantissa is 0.5112 divided by 2. Now we have a negative characteristic that is not perfectly divisible by the whole number. So -3, I have to divide into two parts, where one part is a negative characteristic that is divisible by 2. The other one should be a positive characteristic. What should I put here? What should I put here? What should be the negative characteristic to put which is divisible by 2, and what is the positive characteristic? Quickly. Which one is 1? Okay, 1. Is it +1? Excuse me, Lamai. Yes, go ahead, quickly. Others also tell. +1. And what should come here? Okay, others also say +1. Method -4. Okay. Give me a second, please. Okay, so y'all say -4 plus 1. -4 plus 1. Okay, yes, we get the answer as -3. That seems correct. What if now this has to be divisible by 2? මට මෙතන -2 දැම්මොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? If I put -2 here, what should I put here? Now, I want the answer to be -3 ළමයි. Answer එක -3 වෙන්නත් ඕනේ, negative characteristic එක 2 ගෙන් divide වෙන්නත් ඕනේ. So -2 is a negative characteristic divided by 2, okay. But in order to form -3, මම මෙතන -1 දාන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට මට positive characteristic එකක් එන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක හින්දා ඒක ගන්න බෑ. Right? -4 is the right one. So -3 can be broken down to -4 plus 1, right? -4 plus 1 together forms -3. And also, අපේ ඔක්කොම conditions ටික satisfy වෙනවා. We have a negative characteristic perfectly divisible by the whole number. We have a positive characteristic. Those are our conditions. So -4 plus 1. -4 plus 1. Here mantissa is 0.5112 divided by 2. So -4 plus 1.5112 divided by 2. -4 2 again divide we get -2. 1.5112, you just have to divide by 2. That would be 0.7506. So we get, sorry, 7556. No, 0.1 remaining. We have 11. 2 times 5 is 10. 1 remaining, 11. 2 times 5 is 6. So 2 times 5 is 10. So 1 remaining. Okay. 12. 2 times 6 is 12, right? So we combine these and write bar 2.7556. Did you all understand the fifth one also? Okay. Can you all quickly copy this down? 1 minute, huh? I'll give you 1 minute. Quickly copy down. Okay, Lamai. Done? Shall we try one question alone? Okay, others? Do you all need more time? Denuri, Pasindu? Okay. Okay, then let's move on to a question, which I want you all to do alone and then we will discuss. Go to exercise. We are almost done with the lesson. We have a little bit more. Okay. Go to exercise 3.5. Let's do the second question. Let's do K. No, wait, H, which is bar 2.9312 divided by 3. Quickly do this alone. Quickly do this one. And let's discuss. Lama, have you all finished this one? Okay, shall we discuss? Now we have bar 2.9312. We can write as minus 2 plus 0.9312 divided by 3. Now minus 2 is not perfectly divisible by 3. That's a problem, right? In a minus 2, how do I break it into two parts? I need one negative characteristic, which is perfectly divisible by 3, and I need a positive characteristic. How should I break it down? Yes. Okay, Sahiru, others? Okay, Chenuli, others? Okay, Pasindu, others? Okay, Denuri, okay, Metna. So we have to go with minus 3 plus 1. Minus 3 plus 1 answer is minus 2. Then there are no problem. Meanwhile, we also have a negative characteristic which is perfectly divisible by 3. So minus 3 plus 1 plus we have 0.9312 divided by 3. Minus 3 plus 1.9312 divided by 3. Minus 3 when you divide by 3, we get minus 1. Plus, you just have to divide. 3 times 0 is 1, 3 times 6 is 18, 19 can 1 remaining. 13 means 3 times 4 is 12, 1 remaining. The 11 can 3 times 3 is 9, 10, 11, 2 remaining. 22 can 3 times 7, 21, 1 remaining. 10 can 3 times 3 is 9. It's a product numbers vary. Usually in a logarithm, in the mantissa, there can only be 4 numbers. So now 5 numbers will so I will round it off. So this 3 is less than 5. When I round it off, it would be 0.6437. Okay. Then I will combine and write as bar 1.6437. Did you all get this answer, Lamai? Did you all get this answer? Others? Okay. Now we are going to go for calculations, right? Put a subtopic. Simplification of numerical expressions. Simplification of numerical expressions. Let's discuss one example together. Then I'm going to give you some questions to do alone. No, actually, I think we'll discuss two examples together. Okay. Now, what answer the calculation or the expression is something like this. 8.753 multiplied by 0.02203. This is one of the examples in the textbook as well. Divided by 0.9321. Now, these are complicated multiplications and divisions. Therefore, the best way to do is, if you don't have a calculator, is to use logarithms. So I will use logarithms to simplify. Here, answer, mama, you can put any letter you want. I will put P. Let's say the answer of this is P. Now I'm going to convert everything to log. So this side, the left side is log P. Right hand side is log 8.753 multiplied by, now you can straight away convert multiplications to additions, because you know in logarithms, multiplications become addition, divisions become subtraction, right? එතකොට straight away මේ එක convert කරලාම ලියන්න පුළුවන්. So here there is a multiplication, so that becomes an addition. So plus LG 0.02203. Then there's a division, you know, division becomes subtraction. LG 0.9321. Okay. May I read Kanban 8753? Read from the log table and quickly tell me the value. 8753. Don't worry about the decimal place, because decimal place එකේ position එක ඕන වෙන්නේ characteristic එකට විතරයි. But Mantissa, you have to read from the log table. So 8753. Read it. Read it from the log table fast. Okay, Metna. Others? Okay, Chenuli. So you should get 9421. And if you look at the decimal place, it is at the default position. Default position එක කියන්නේ decimal place එකට කලින් value එක තියෙන එක number එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. This is the default position, so I will put 0. So characteristic is 0 here. Plus, again here, don't worry about the decimal place. Look at the numbers. Here we have 2203. Read from the log table 2203. 2203. Yes, Lamai, we should get 3430. This is the default position. The decimal place is 2 places to the front of the default position. So we put bar 2. Minus 9321. Okay, quickly read from the log table. 9321. 9321. Yes. We get 9694. Default and in the kakisrata, so we put bar 1. Since there are like additions and subtractions, everything, either you can do everything together or you can finish one and then move on to the next. They can addition mulling karla, it passes subtraction. So here the characteristic, the Mantissa is 0.9421. Characteristic yak nan, so I will just write 0.9421. Then here, characteristic is -2. Mantissa is 0.3430. I will first finish this addition and then come to this. So, method characteristic -2. I will write -2 at the beginning, at the front. then plus 0.9421 plus 0.3430 minus මෙයාවත් එහෙමම ලියනවා. bar 2 plus, now we will do the addition. 1 plus 0 is 1, 2 plus 3 is 5, 4 plus 4 is 8, 9 plus 3 is 12. So ඒ 1 එක මෙතන characteristic එකක් විදියට යනවා. Minus bar 1.9694. And we know here minus 2, this characteristic is plus 1 plus 0.2851. ඒ අතරේ මම මෙයාව දික් කරගන්නවා, like I separate this into characteristic and mantissa. Minus 1 is a characteristic. Mantissa is 0.9694. Here minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1 plus 0.2851. මෙතන minus times minus is plus 1. Minus times plus is minus 0.9694. Up to this point, is it clear, Lamai? Others? Okay. Now what do we do? Here, now there is a small issue, right? බලන්න මෙතන මෙහෙම කරොත් minus 1 plus 1 cancel වෙනවා, right? Then I have a mantissa which is plus, but my bigger mantissa is minus. Minus 9694. Give me 1 second. Okay, Lamai. So, yes. So we were talking about, okay, so before we simplify from this point onwards, did you, you said you understood up to this point, no? I already asked that. Okay. So now, next step is we can see minus 1 and plus 1 cancel winner, right? From what we have learned, we can see minus 1 and plus 1 gets cancelled off. And we have the two mantissa remaining. We have plus 0.2851. We have minus 0.9694. So we know the drill. ලොකු එකනාගෙන් පොඩි එකනා subtract කරනවා. ලොකු එකනාගේ sign එක දානවා. So 0.9694 වලින් subtract කරනවා 0.2851. 4 minus 1 is 3. 9 minus 5 is 4. 6 minus 8 means 16 minus 8 is 8. Methana 9 8. 8 minus 2 is 6. We have 0.6843 and we put the sign of the bigger number which is minus. This is my answer. Now this is all this time, this is log P, no LGP. Now if I were to find P, I would have to find, I lost the connection. Let me share the whiteboard again. Can you all hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Okay. So I will send the link of the whiteboard for those of you who cannot see it. So we were talking about this. So this is LGP, which is minus 0.6843. So P nang, I will have to find anti-log of minus 0.6843. Have you learned anything like this? Characteristic එකක් නෑ 1 2 ඒවා නෑ 1 2 වගේ නම් minus දැම්මොත් we can put bar 1 bar 2 bar 3. But 0 වලට minus එකක් දාලා have you learned anything like that so far? Have you learned anything like that so far? It's not very familiar, right? That is because lamai, if there is a minus එකක් තියෙන පුළුවන්. The 1 වලට minus එකක් තියෙනවා, that would be bar 1. If 2 has a minus, that would be bar 2. If 3 has a minus, that would be bar 3. But 0 cannot have a minus because 0 can, it's just a mantissa. Mantissa එකක minus තියෙන්න බෑ. එහෙනම් මම මොකද කරන්නේ? I'm going to do something here. දැන් මෙතන මට answer කාවේ minus 0.6843 නේ. And I told you mantissa cannot, if it's just the mantissa, it cannot have a minus. මම මොකද කරන්නේ? මම මෙන්න මෙහෙම එකක් දානවා. minus 1 plus 1. minus 1 plus 1 වල value එක කීයද? What is the value of minus 1 plus 1? Yeah, others? What is the value of minus 1 plus 1? Zero, right? So therefore, it doesn't really add the value. Minus 1 plus 1 කියලා දැම්ම කියලා වෙනසක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. So I just put it like that. Why? minus 1 ව මෙහෙම්මම තියලා මට මෙන්න මෙතන simplification එකක් කරන්න පුළුවන්. 1 ගෙන්, because mantissa cannot have a minus. It's very annoying. Like if it's just the mantissa itself, it cannot have a minus. ඒකින්ද මම මොකද කරන්න හදන්නේ? මෙතන මම positive negative characteristics දෙකක් තියෙනවානේ. When you simplify, the value is anyway 0, so it doesn't really add an extra value, right? So මම මෙතන positive එක්කෙනාගේ mantissa එක subtract කරනවා. Plus 1 ගෙන් I subtract 0.6843. 10 ගෙන් 3 කියන්නේ 7, 9 ගෙන් 4 කියන්නේ 5, 9 ගෙන් 8 1, 9 ගෙන් 6 කියන්නේ 3, 0 ගෙන් 0 0. 0.3157. Answer එකට plus එන්නේ because ලොකු එකෙනාගේ sign එක plus. And now we can write bar 1.3157. Did you all understand this up to this point? Is it clear? Denuri Pasindu, is it clear? Okay, good. Now this is all this time, this is log P, huh? But I want P. P means anti-log bar 1.3157. Can you quickly find this number? Mantissa එකෙන් තමයි read කරන්නේ, huh? Log එකේ බලන්න 3157. 3157, quickly check. $4993 would be too much. Check again. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් මෙතන log වල 3157 කියන්නේ you go through the values, huh? Values වල 3157 නැත්තම් ඊට ළඟම තියෙන value එක අරගෙන එයාට අදාළ මෙතන number එක ගත්තා, මෙතන number එක ගත්තා. If there's anything more that you need, you get it from the mean difference and ඒකේ value එක මෙතනින් ගත්තා. So this. Okay. Others? $2068 should be what you get. Here this is bar 1. ඒ කියන්නේ default තැන ඉඳන් එකක් ඉස්සරහට ගිහිල්ලා. So you put 0.2068. Is this calculation clear to all of you, lamai? 100% clear? Can you quickly write this one? After you do this one, we will do another one. Make it ඉක්මනට කරන්න. While you write this, give me a few minutes. However, I will set a timer for 5 minutes. I'll set a timer for 5 minutes. Quickly write. So my time is up. Have you finished writing? Others? Anybody who needs more time? Okay. Example 2. Now you have to simplify something like this. Zero point 9371 के third root teka. Now you have to find the value of this, right? If you have a calculator, you can easily get the value. But unfortunately, let's say you don't have a calculator. You have to find the value using logarithms, right? Mom, I answer letter I will put y. Okay, so now I'm going to convert everything to logarithms, right? Logarithm LGY equals LG third root of 0.9371. And we know whenever we have a root, we can write it like this, right? 0.9371. Then third root, I can write it as a power like this, which is something we have learned in indices and logarithms 1 lesson. Is that clear to all of you? The root sign went as a power. The third root went as a power to 1 over 3. Is it clear to you, Lamai? Give me a thumbs up if it's clear. Others? Okay. Now we also learned something like this. Whenever we have a power, you can bring it to the front of the log sign. Then it will be 1 over 3 LG 0.9371. The power here, I brought it to the front. Ek matakaida. Root take a power karana matakai. Power, do you remember to bring it to the front of the LG sign in logarithms? We learned it like maybe 2 weeks ago. Yes. So 1 over 3 LG 0.9371. 1 over 3, I will leave it as it is. Method the multiplication ekakne. So multiply. मैंने मैं आगे log value को hand on 9371. Can you read from the log table and tell me the value? 9371. Others? I got one answer. Okay, another one. It is 9717. Default and the decimal place, so that is bar 1. Now we have to divide. No, so 1 over 3 means division. That means bar 1.9717. We have to divide by 3. Now, how do we do this? So I will write it like this. Bar 1.9717, I will write as minus 1 plus 0.9717 divided by 3. Now, we have a negative characteristic which is not perfectly divisible by 3. Then minus 1, how can I divide into 2 parts? Where one part should be a negative characteristic perfectly divisible by 3. The other part should be a positive characteristic. How do I break it down? Minus 1 කොහොමද මම බෙදා කඩාගන්නේ? I need a negative characteristic that is perfectly divisible by 3. So එහෙනම් මට -3 ව දාන්න පුළුවන්. එතන -3 දැම්මොත් what should I put here so that the final answer would be -1? Yes, +2. Minus what? Why did you send a moon? Is it because you are sleepy? -3 plus 2, the answer is -1, right? So that is what you have to write. -3 plus 2. That is how I broke down my negative mantissa, so negative characteristic, plus 0.9717 divided by 3. So -3 plus 2.9717 divided by 3. So -3, when you divide it by 3, you get -1. 2.9717 we will divide by 3. 3 times 0 is 2. 3 times 9 is 27. 2 remaining. May 7 palhat again. Again 3 times 9 is 27. 0 1 walata has 17 walata. 3 times 6 is, no, 3 times 5 is 15. 2 remaining, 0. 3 times 6 is 18. 2 remaining, and 666. So, we continue. And we know when it comes to a log value, we can only have 4 decimal places in the mantissa, right? එහෙනම් මම මෙව 4 decimal places වලට round off කරනවා. මෙතන තියෙන 6 නේ. 6 is greater than 5. So when I round off, I get 0.990. 5 එකට එකක් වැඩි කළා, we write as 6. And then we combine these together and we write as bar 1.9906. Now this is log y, LGY. If I want to find y, I have to find the anti-log. Anti-log bar 1.9906. Can you find me the anti-log value of this? Anti-log value of bar 1.9. That means mantissa only you have to read from the log table. Characteristic only means the position of the decimal place. Okay, I got one answer. I got another answer. Okay. Others? It should be 9906 read karahama log table looking. It should be 9786. Bar 1 means default and so that should be 0 point. But you have gotten different answers. Shall we use a log table to see? 9906 ne mange hari second page ekana apita one. Let me show you. Because I also didn't read the log table. This was an example from the textbook, so I just got the answer from there. Let's try reading the log table. 9906, no? Nine nine zero six. 9906. 9906 ને 9903 තියෙනවා. 9903 කියන්නේ මෙතන තියෙනවා 97. මෙතන තියෙනවා 8. Right? 97, 8. Then what I want is 9906. But what I have is 9903. That means I need 3 more. That 3 I get from here. And I add a correspondent method is 6. So 97, 8, 6. 9786. So 9786. And bar 1 means default and එකක් ඉස්සරහට ගිහලා තමයි decimal point එක තියන්නේ. Is this clear to all of you, ළමයි? Give me a thumbs up. Others? Hasindu, Sahiru? Okay. Shall we quickly copy this down? Don't leave the Zoom yet because I have to give you homework. But I will set a timer for 5 minutes. Quickly copy this question down. Quickly. Lamai, have you all finished writing? Others? Sahiru? Let me know. Okay. Let's mark homework. Lesson ki varai lamaya. Lesson ki varai. Now we just have to do questions. So, e bakku api homework balin cover karamu. There's plenty of questions that we have to do. Go to exercise 3.4. Exercise 3.4. Third decade, do E and F. Exercise 3.4, third decade, E and F. Third big question, E and F. Then, exercise 3.5. Second decade, K and L. Then exercise 3. These are all that we did today, huh? First decade F. Second decade E and F. Then exercise 3.7 लिखे E, just E. Those are the only homework for today. There is more एक आप इतना next week के homework और add करो. And next week we will be starting and finishing surface area of solids. Because surface area of solids is a lesson that I always finish in one day. But with questions and all, we will have to do for 2 days. Again, questions ටික අපිට තව දවසක් කරන්න වෙනවා. But theory wise, it's a lesson that only takes 1 day. Just like surface area, volume, both of them. Okay, so before we wrap up, from whatever we did today, do you have any questions, any concerns, anything that is not clear? Or is everything clear? If everything is clear, give me a thumbs up. Denuri Pasindu, since you joined a bit late, make sure that you get the recording. Gya week ke recordings මම දන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට delay වුණාද කියලා, because there was an issue in Zoom. ඒ කියන්නේ recordings ගොඩක් ඒවා අපි Zoom එකේම record කරන්නේ. So ඒතකොට ඒවා upload කරද්දි download කරද්දි සමහර වෙලාවට එක එක bugs තියෙනවා. So last week I don't know if you received, but there was a problem with the recordings. It must have been delayed. But now it's all sorted. So ගොඩක් දුරට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට හෙට වගේ recording එක ගන්න පුළුවන්. Can you hit before the end of the day tomorrow, you will get the recording. Okay, I will send the homework and the whiteboard note in the group. And we will be meeting each other next week on 2nd of March. And until then, have a great week, Lamai. Good night. Night.